Good afternoon. It's so great to see everybody here, and it's wonderful to have you join us as we take a step looking backwards and also a step forward. Tomorrow marks our 100th day in office. As I've started the administration, I want to first of all welcome you to the State Department of Education, but also I would like to ask for some of our cabinet members who have joined us in these first 100 days to join me. If you'll just come on, Dr. Cindy Koss with our Administrative Affairs and Planning. Also, Dr. Robin Miller, who is focusing on our teacher preparation, talent development, and policy with education policy. Also, we have our Chief of Staff, retired Lieutenant Colonel Lance Nelson. Thank you. And new today, actually, first day for our Deputy Chief of Staff, Heather Griswold. We're grateful that you are here. And of course, Carolyn Thompson is working with us on our cabinet as well as our team in communications, and I'm grateful for each of them to be here and thankful for you joining us. Well, we just want to focus on a few things that have been accomplished since the time we've been started in January, and it's a great time for me to see everybody here that is both participating in extended coalition of support and collaboration over education issues from higher ed, career technology, as well as our parents, educator groups, school board members, and all of those community partners that we have. We are grateful for your participating in the important work of public education. Upon taking office, I wanted to make changes. And primarily, my first order was to really work to change the culture. I'm grateful that we have, I believe, begun that work. It started with a capacity review from an outside group that came and did an examination of the capacity as it exists now, and then also with the input of about 112 stakeholders. 14 different stakeholder groups here at the department met and completed a process of determining where we still needed to build and have a benchmark as we grow forward with the development of our staff as well as the mission. For me, the mission is about children. It's about results for students, and we're on our way. I want Oklahoma to be a place where we're able to attract and retain top talent in our teaching profession. But it's certainly apparent to all of us that we need to have a plan to address immediate needs as well as lingering challenges in Oklahoma education. So part of that plan is addressing really a triage approach as I took office, and that involves addressing the teacher shortage, which is at a historic crisis level. And also, we need to focus on increased time for instruction, which means my legislative agenda is going to include both teacher shortage measures that would help solve that, as well as testing and ending unnecessary testing. Just to speak briefly about the teacher shortage, I want to update you. We started the year, in the school year, in September with about 1,000 vacancies in the teaching professions throughout the state. 506 emergency certifications were issued. And just to help you understand how significant that number is, it is 5 times the number of emergency certifications that were issued last year. In fact, just 3 to 4 years ago, there were less than 50 emergency certifications. So emergency certification means there's not even enough time to test the individual who is not certified and has not yet been able to go forward with the plans for alternative certification. We had 800 so far, 860 substitutes that have been placed, and as a result, at the end of this year, we are close to about 1,000 vacant teaching positions yet again, which means that it also resulted in 856 classes eliminated. So what this means is students are going to feel the impact. The teacher shortage affects our kids. It means a substitute, not a permanent teacher. And imagine if that is your child in first grade, trying to learn to read, and there is a different teacher every 6 weeks or 3 months. Or if you have a student in Algebra 1, and every so often they start over with a brand new teacher that is only a temporary sub. The crisis affects students, and it's got to be something that we focus on, and that is what we have done with our legislative agenda. I'm pleased to announce that this is deadline week, and we hear that those bills that we still are watching and are hopeful will pass are going to be heard on the different Senate or House floor, and we are encouraged that those will move forward. We need to address issues with TLE. That's our teacher leader effectiveness model that is evaluating performance and have more of a approach that is like a flashlight and less of a hammer. I think it's important that we have continuous improvement, and that certainly is part of my goal as a member of the teaching profession. And then academic standards. We've continued to move forward with our new math and reading standards, and that work is progressing, and I am hopeful we will meet our timeline targets. And as we look forward to the next 100 days, in that next 100-day period, we will have our summer conference, which is being launched today. It is called Engage OK, because it is paramount that we have engaged communities, engaged parents, and that our schools have that kind of open door for business partnerships, the philanthropic community as a partner. It is going to take all of our communities working together to meet the needs of higher academic attainment for our students. And we want to begin a deeper discussion starting with our summer conference, which is set for July the 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're also pleased to announce that we are working with a new vendor, as you know, on our school testing window, which began, we've had actually 6 days of testing. In those 6 days, many of those tests are online. To date, 182,000 online tests have been completed, and we are very pleased with the result of that there has been stability with the framework for students, and we appreciate the ongoing work with the new vendor this year. However, just because we have stability in the delivery of a test does not negate the importance of having a conversation about having meaningful assessment and reducing unnecessary tests. So part of our legislative agenda is to address the 7 end of instruction exams and find a replacement for those that has meaning outside of a high school requirement. I am interested in a research-based exchange for what we are currently using, which are 7 end of instruction tests that meet state requirements, and part of those meet federal requirements. We could do this in a different way. We could do this with something like the ACT, which again is used by any of our universities here in Oklahoma, as we are an ACT state. There are many decisions to be made, and I want to partner with communities and our legislators to make sure that we are meeting the needs of students and that they have a reliable and valid assessment tool. But tests are tools and should be used as tools to inform and guide instruction, and should serve more purposes than just a federal mandate or a state mandate. Well, thank you. I appreciate all of you being here. If you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our communications office. And I believe we have a lot of work to do, but I have hope that we have the right people in place at the right time, and there is focus on education like we haven't really seen in decades, and I want to build on that to accomplish real results for students. Thank you so much.